Gospels with an awareness of how shot through they are with political messages and overtones. And there are various writers who have helped us do that. Tom Wright, who we've mentioned, a lot of his work on historical Jesus brings a lot of this to the surface. John Howard Yoder, his book The Politics of Jesus. There's a number of different writers who have been drawing attention to this. So, he is that going to work? The Messiah, we've said. That means he is the King of the Jews. In other words, in Christ we see the fulfillment of that strand, that positive strand in the Old Testament. We could think of that in both the aspects of the positive strand we looked at. Paul talks about Christ as the end, the telos of the law, and that may have an element, obviously, of moving on from the law, but it also has a sense of the fulfillment, the goal to which the law points. And he is the true King of Israel. All the previous kings had failed in different ways to do what the king was meant to do. Jesus is the true King of God's people, Israel. And he announces and himself embodies the reign and rule of Israel's God, the God of the whole world. And so we have here the bringing to a completion and fulfillment, this positive strand that we can see in the Old Testament of what rule should look like. But of course, he doesn't exercise rule in the way in which we might naturally think of, even from the Old Testament. My kingdom is not of this world, he famously says in John's Gospel. And that's sometimes been, I think, misinterpreted and twisted, to talk of a heavenly kingdom, nothing to do with politics and society and the rough and tumble of political world. And that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about a real kingdom, but it is not of the world in the sense of the rebellious world, the world that has turned against God, the world that is marked in terms of its kingdoms by violence. He talks in that context about otherwise my followers would